Welcome back to another weekly recap. So I've been away for vacation for the past 2 months, so I didn't record any trading session that I have took over the week. But I did take some trade over on the road this week. So in today's, I'll cover the trade I took this week. I only saw two really obvious trade, so I'll go over that. Besides that, there wasn't much going on this week. So as always, we always mark up the weekly high and weekly low of the past week. So this is the past before the first week of September. This is the high and this is the low. And then this is the new weekly opening gap from Friday going to Sunday. Okay. So highlighting something here, this is in the 4-hour chart. What I'm looking at is there is price is respecting. So once there is inversion, so here's an inversion, kind of highlight respect. You can see the price body closed outside of this, and once it's close above it, came back and then respected this inversion fair value gap all the way down, right? So what I'm looking at is join this zone here in the 4 hours, or you can call it order block. Here, this is a key zone where the price is respecting it. Okay, where I want to see price is continue forward and then generate this equal lows. I want this equal low to get grabbed and then see if it continue to grab all these liquidity down here. Okay, so within the liquidity down here, there's also a fair value gap that's down here. That's within 4 hours. That's respecting. I want to see the price tap into here and then see if we continue respecting, or do we want to move lower. Okay, I expect the price to come down here to sweep minimum this equal lows and then also continue lower to grab these two relative equal lows. Okay, so jumping into 30 minutes. So this is Monday. So Monday, no trade. And then this is going to Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday, went a little too fast. Okay, so here we're roughly at 7:30 here. Oh, okay. So this is what I was looking at. Once this is the liquidity got swept, but this liquidity didn't get swept, I want to see the liquidity, the price continue momentum lower. So this is what I'm looking at for the 30 minutes zone here. And I want to see if price will move back up into here at the open. So this is around close to the open. I have my OTE step from this high, this low. Okay, to move a little bit lower. Okay. Here is the OTE I'm looking at. Okay, and then I'll place my limit order over here, and my stop at this high, and then target a minimum 2 RR, and then the rest at the general equal low. So it's roughly a 3 RR trade once you average out the partial. I always partial at 2, and then the rest at the runner. Okay, so going up, tagged in, move smoothly, and then already hit my 2 R here, I believe. So here we go. So once it moved down here, I'm all out. There's no more position left. So this was a very simple trade, just a retest and continue momentum at opening drive. Okay, so the next day I'm looking for on Tuesday is once I see these days. So let me close this. Once I see, this is the key. So going back to 4 hours, this, we can see the price once it gets swept all these liquidities, this equal lows, there's no body closing out. It tells me this demand supply here is very, very strong, and also this order block is very, very strong. The 4-hour fair value gap is very strong. That it was respecting it, and also close about weekly low. So if you take a look at the weekly chart, right? So what it's doing is it swept the weekly low of previously. What we want to expect is going back up as typically as a higher probable trade. And then one thing on mine that align with on Tuesday, I'm looking for a long instead of a short or long bias is this order block. Okay, so you can see this order block. Let me mark it out. 30 minutes order block over here. This 30 more order block. This candle close above it. I want to see some sort of, sorry, this is 4 hours order block, I want to see some sort of respect into the zone here. So going into the 30 minutes, which is what I'm looking at, I want to see get it into tap into some of these order block in the 30 minutes and also fair value gap over here. And I think I already missed the entry. So my entry was here. So what I did was I leveraged this low, same thing, OTE. That's my bread and butter. And then this bottom wicked it. So this day was very, I wouldn't say very clean, but it was very easy read overall market, where the market want to go. This is one of the easy day to read on the bias. You have these 4-hour zone that's respecting, and then once you move into 30 minutes, it's also a zone that you want to look for respect. It does align with higher time frame bias, and also sitting above the weekly low. Everything just pointing towards long. If you're taking a short on this day, you need to reevaluate your higher time frame. You're probably trading under too low of a time frame. So even this is a 5 minutes time frame over here. My entry was at the OTE here, so I got tapped in at this candle here, right? And then my stop was at this candle low and target 2, right? So doing this, there's one thing a little bit tricky here. So you can see in the 5 minutes, even I'll go down to 2 minutes. So you can see this is a little bit hard to sit through during this day. I got tapped in here, and once this candle broke above a change of character over here, I was expecting the price to just shoot up to grab all these equal low, but the price didn't. The price went back down, continued to chop around for roughly 30 minutes before moving back up. And even moving back up, there was a point here it have a sharp going trying to go back down, and at this point I already moved my stop loss to break even. So on this day I thought I was gonna take a break even trade since the price was not efficient enough. So when the price moved back down to here, I moved my partial into this high. So it wasn't a 1 to 2 RR due to how the price is sitting, how it's respecting this new weekly opening gap. I figure I'll take some partial first contract at a new weekly back, and I'll let rest of the runner into the 2 RR. So I end up taking the day at roughly 1.8 RR, but it's still a good day, easy read on direction, but the price just was not efficient enough to go run all the way through here. So I held this trade from 9:35 all the way till, let's see, 10:35. So it was an hour trade, a little bit long, but it's okay. This worked out. And then I'll kind of play out rest of the week, which I did not see much. So this is Wednesday that will play out, and this is Thursday. Okay, so I went a little bit too fast. So Thursday, same thing. Once it was sitting here, I expect the price to go all the way here to grab this high. This is liquidity. All these are inefficiency imbalance that was moved when it moved down very fast, very fast. Typically, you can expect when they go back up, these will be a fast moving day. So on this day was simple, but I didn't get an entry as well. So let me remove some of these color. So here, this is what I'm eyeing at. This zone, I want to see the price respect sit above during this weekly opening gap. So going down to 30 minutes, this is what I'm looking at. These relative equal lows, I expect to get grabbed. And then this is the zone. And then this is the day where I hesitate on taking a trade, but it didn't even, I did put a limit order, but it never hit my limit order. I want the price to come in here, grabbing all these low, and respect this 30 minutes order block. But one thing to point out is I would only trade OT. That's my rule. So my entry was set at OT zone here, which it came extremely close. I think like 5 points off or less than that before it got tapped in. So this is the price I was looking at. I was expecting to grab, and then my stop is here. So you can see the stop is almost 87 points. It's very, very big. Which this day I went small contract, but I mean, if you were tapped in, easy 3RR trade, right? The pace is equivalent. You can test take less contract and trade this day, but either way, never hit my target. Might never hit my limit order. I only trade limit order, so I don't FOMO into things. It didn't hit, so this day I'm not taking any single trade. And then for today, Friday, yeah, there's no trade for Friday today. I basically grabbed the liquidity. The reason for it is you can see the liquidity was completed and also complete the weekly high. It grabbed the weekly low, weekly high. Next thing to expect is probably either going higher or complete lower. At this day, there was essentially no clear direction. The price moved up so fast, and then all these equal low got grabbed, and then at the end of the day, moving back up. Also respecting this order block, which is expected. So this 4 hour is expected. Since I think we're shifting toward bullish, at least we're shifting toward bullish, I wanted to respect this order block, and then I want to see if we can continue higher next week. So something to look for the next week is currently is respecting both these zones here. So I'll highlight it. This out. So what I'm expecting next week is currently is respecting these two zones. So this is a breaker. So this is a breaker that currently is respecting. It's still respecting this zone, order block zone here on the 4 hours. So this is, I'm looking at currently 4 hour time frame. This is respecting it. This is respecting it. It tells me there's strong resistance up here that I want to see if it can break above. I want to see some sort of candle close above here. This zone to tell me you want to continue to a new high. But currently with the news and tariff, the bond doesn't really like tariff, and then with the stock plummeting, it's hard to tell which direction. We could just chop around in this zone here before we choose a direction. So 2 zone I'm looking at the trade is if it's respecting breaker on a higher time frame, I'll trade long, and if it's respecting this higher order block in the 4 hour time zone, I'll go short. And if anything go above or below, then I will go with the directions. But overall, the direction is pretty loose for next week. And also we have CPI and PPI next week, so it will be, we should get at least a direction clear by end of the next week, and we will know where we want to range towards. But for now, I will focus on bigger picture, trade between this zone. Stay away from the middle here. If you trade anything, the price when sitting in the middle, you will get chopped. Yeah. Stay safe and happy trading.